Okay, guys, welcome to Wednesday afternoon Network Educating My Business Support Program. Lucky enough today to have Wassim Dabboussi from Breakout Solutions today to actually talk to us about crypto, but actually decrypting crypto, taking it down to layman's terms. Everybody keeps hearing the terms going around. I'm in the industry, I don't understand it, so I probably need to see this as well. I understand people that are not in the industry wouldn't have a clue. So I would like to welcome Wassim. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you, guys. Welcome, everybody. So I'm just going to share my screen. There we go. All right, so let me just move this over here. I'll open up the chat box also, so feel free to put in any questions you may have. I'll answer them if I can on the fly. If I can't, I'll just answer them at the end. So what I'm going to speak to you guys today about, obviously in a half an hour, 40 minutes, I can't get to too much detail about, understanding crypto. Is such a huge topic and such a huge subject. But what my goal today is to get you interested enough to start paying attention to cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies are the way of the future. There's a lot of development, especially over the past, late last year, we had the Australian Reserve Bank talking about creating a central bank reserve digital currency. We had Commonwealth Bank of Australia, the largest bank of Australia, talking about they're going to start providing cryptocurrency services through the ComSec app. Last week, we had President Biden sign an executive order to make sure for sustainable and, I can't remember the exact words, development of cryptocurrency. A couple of days ago, we had the European Union sign off on a regulation for cryptocurrency. So it is happening. When you're starting to see very large governments now looking at, paying attention to cryptocurrencies and how it's going to affect the future of their financial systems, we know it's going to start taking a snowball effect for the rest of the world. So what I want to focus on today is how can we use cryptocurrencies for us to break out of what I call the financial matrix. Now, before I get started, I do have a disclaimer. And first of all, I'm not a financial advisor and nothing I say is financial advice. All strategies are general in nature and not necessarily tailored to your individual situation. Always do your own research when you are looking at any type of investment. If you are unsure about this space, please consult your financial advisor because they are licensed to advise you. Crypto does have many risks and people can lose their money, and a lot of people have, just as much as many millionaires have been made. A lot of people have lost a lot of money because they didn't know what they were doing. If you are looking at investing into altcoins, be very careful because they can lose value and they can lose value fast. Now that we've got that out of the way, what I'm going to do for today's session is we're going to go through a little bit about our company, who we are, why we were created, what our mission is. Then I'm going to go into why now is an important time for change. So we're going to look at the fundamentals of what's happening in the world. The world there's a lot of things happening in the world. We've got wars, we've got pandemics, we've got economic turmoil. So why now is a good time for change, and why now we need to look at change? And if we are looking at change, why are we going to look at digital assets? And how do they fall into the big scheme of things? Then we're going to look at the secrets of creating wealth through digital assets. I'll give you guys some examples in that. Next, at the end of this, there will be one slide for anybody who is interested to find out more, an invitation to join our 1K Day Club webinar, which happens every fortnight. Then there'll be a Q&A. All right, so a little bit about me. My name is Wassim Dabboussi. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Community Engagement here at Breakout Solutions. For those of you that don't know me, don't know my story, I've been a serial entrepreneur since 2003. The last business I ran was a gym, prior to the pandemic, I should say. The last business I ran prior to the pandemic was a brick and mortar gym. Now, as you can imagine, owning a gym during the pandemic is not it's not a good thing to have. And when the lockdowns came and the mandates, et cetera, my business was shut down and we were heavily affected. In fact, 2020 was one of the darkest years of my life. And I had to make a very difficult decision. Do I weather this storm and wait for it to be finished and then rebuild my business all from scratch? Or do I make a decision to get out and look for other opportunities? And I made a difficult decision to shut my business down, sell all my equipment, and then start all over again. Now, in the process of doing that, I had to sell my family home. I had to sell my investment properties to pay off all the debt that I had. And one of the things that I went through was I tried to negotiate with my bank a small payout figure. You know, I figured after 15 years of paying off my mortgage on time, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to the bank, you know, understanding that we are in a pandemic, you know, there are things outside of my control, business being shut down, people not wanting to go to a gym. I thought they would be compassionate enough to understand that I've worked hard all my life and we can come to an agreement where it's a, you know, lower payment. I can have a bit of money to restart for my family. But the reality was the banks came back and said no. They wanted every single cent that was owed to them, regardless of how much I paid them. It was in that moment that I made a decision that I will one day become financially free and help others become that way. So for me, today is actually on a personal level, I'm very passionate about crypto because I want to help people be able to get what they want out of life and be able not to be slaves to the banks, not running around paycheck to paycheck and paying off mortgages. So that's a little bit about me. And then after 2021, as I was dealing with the banks and dealing with the lawyers and whatnot, I had friends talk to me about crypto. I said, look, I'm not interested. I've already been involved a number of years ago and I lost quite a lot of money. I don't want a high risk opportunity. I'm going to get myself a job, put some food on the table and then, have a break for a year or two. I'll work out what I'm going to do next. But the opportunity kept coming at me. And then I was invited to a webinar by Breakout Solutions on the 22nd of January, 2021. And I remember it very clear. It was a Thursday afternoon, 7 p.m. And a reminder comes up on my tablet. And I thought to myself, I've been dealing with the banks all day. I might as well spend a bit of time focusing on something else. I turned on the webinar, started listening to what Michael had to say. And I realized that he's talking about some things I've already known for a long time, but didn't know what to do with it. Things that, Robert Kiyosaki and some of the other financial gurus out there talking about the debasement of the dollar, talking about hyperinflation, talking about hedging with gold, silver, and so forth, all the stuff that I knew, but had no idea how to action it. And there was Michael giving us real life strategies and how to action it. So I started paying attention. Long story short, I became a client. I fell deep down the rabbit hole of crypto. I spent about 3 months researching crypto for 12 to 14 hours a day, watching videos, articles, podcasts, courses, anything I can get my hands on to consume that hunger. Because if you're a family man, if anybody's gone through what I've been through, it can actually be very, very challenging on a mental health level. I was diagnosed with depression and I couldn't see the light in the tunnel. But now when I started seeing the opportunities in crypto, that actually helped me with my mental health and helped me get out of the state that I was in. And the more I learned, the more excited for life I became. And you can see why it's such an important, such a passionate topic for me. So that's a little bit about me. Then I called Michael. I said, mate, I love what you're doing. I'd want to help you out. How can we do that? He said, look, we're growing the business. We want someone who can head over the marketing and the sales side of things. I had 17, 18 years experience. It was a natural fit. And, almost a year later now, I'm a partner in a business. I'm an executive and I'll never ever turn back. So that's a little bit about me and how I got here. Now, a little bit about the company. So Breakout Solution, we're on a mission. Both Michael and I have had our fair share of runs with the banks and negative experiences with the banks. So we want to help others to avoid that. So our mission is to build a community that helps families wanting to get ahead financially to harness the power of digital assets to create a brighter future and secure generational wealth. We have a big, hairy, audacious goal. And that goal is to help 1 million people unplug from the financial matrix and achieve financial independence by 2032. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. It scares the living daylights out of me and Michael every single day, but that's what gets us out in the morning. How can we get to 1 million people? And this is where we need the help of the community, the help of our clients to get the message out there. This sums up exactly how we feel. This is Tom Bilou, and he said, I feel a moral obligation to get people to pay attention to what's happening in the crypto and blockchain space. I mean that literally. Wall Street, you know what I'm saying. This is a pivotal point in history. We cannot agree with this anymore. 100% what we believe is that people need to start paying attention. And what you'll see, many governments, and now, as I mentioned earlier, governments are now starting to look at crypto, regulating it, how they're going to implement it in their financial systems. This is coming, guys, and it's going to come faster than what people thought. And you'll see today how fast this is coming. Here's the financial reality of families. What we know is over 63% of American households are living paycheck to paycheck. That is up by 48% prior to the pandemic. The Australian numbers are no better. Over 50% of Australian families are living paycheck to paycheck. 26% of people feel that they do not have a stable income. How many people do you know that have taken a pay cut, have taken less hours due to the pandemic, just so that they can keep their jobs? I know a number of those people. 2/3 of people have no emergency savings, meaning if they face with a $500 emergency, most people cannot afford to pay it. Think about what's happened here in Sydney over the past few weeks with the floods and the rains. A lot of people don't even have enough money to pay for the insurance excess, and they have to go out and borrow that money to be able to fix whatever water damage or flood damage they've experienced. 22% of people are living beyond their means. Think about what we're conditioned to do. Every time you go into a shopping center, you've got buy now, pay later. It used to be for larger items, white goods and things like that. But now you can go buy shoes now and pay later. Buy now, pay later. We're conditioned to have instant gratification and think about the payment later. And this is causing a lot of people to live beyond their means. 18% of people who are making over $100,000 a year are also living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not just about getting a better job or increasing your income, because what we can see that even those with the so-called higher income are also struggling. The biggest problem is inflation. And the next one I'm going to show you is really going to open up your eyes to how bad inflation is. This slide is a little bit old. Inflation has now been reported at 7.9, which is an all-time high in I think it's like 40 years or something. The devaluation of the dollar. The US dollar is being devalued by 14% per annum. What that means is if you have $10,000 right now, a year from now, that $10,000 purchasing power is only going to get you $8,600 worth of whatever you could buy today. And 42% of people have accumulated over $10,000 of debt since the pandemic. Now, we've got hyperinflation, we've got inflation, we've got wars going on in the world. The situation is not going to get better. If you look at the news, we are told to brace ourselves, with petrol being at $2.50 today, if not more in some places. So we're told that things are going to get worse before they get better. And this is why this is how cryptocurrency comes into play. In fact, as you can see, banks have taken over $12.4 billion in overdraft fees in 2020 alone. That means banks took over $12 billion of people who had no money during a global pandemic. So they don't have your best interest at heart. You've got to start looking for ways that you can have your best interest at heart and find ways that you can stand on your feet and be in control of your own finances. Now, digital assets or cryptocurrencies are the least understood technology out there. And this is why this is the reason for that, is there's so many misconceptions about creating wealth through digital assets. Let me know how many of these resonate with you. I need a lot of money to start. I need to spend a lot of time. I need to understand the technology. I need to be tech savvy. I have to know when to buy and when to sell. How do I know it's the bottom? How do I know it's the top? How do I take profit? It's too volatile. Bitcoin's up one day, down the next. How do I know what to do with that? It's all a scam. It's fake money. It's not backed by anything. A lot of people still feel that about cryptocurrencies. The returns are too good to be true. Okay, and I can go into so much detail about this as to why we're conditioned to have little returns. If you understand the fractional banking system, you'll understand that the banks make a lot of money from your deposits that you don't know about. But I don't have time to go through that today. That is something we'll explain at the 1K day presentation next week. I can't spend my crypto on everything. Well, I've got news for you guys. Here are two crypto, can you see that? Two crypto debit cards that I can spend anywhere Visa's accepted. All that I need to do is load it up with my crypto, go to the Woolies, go to the petrol station, go buy whatever. I could take my wife out to dinner. I can do anything I want with these two directly with my crypto. So this is changing. It's not for me because X, Y, and Z. And the reality is people say it's not for me, X, Y, and Z. What they're really saying is I don't know someone I can trust that can teach me how to get into this. And this is why we use, this is one of the reasons why we build so much trust with our community, and they advocate for us and bring their friends and family, because we want to help people the right way. So it can actually be quite easy. Okay. Number one, follow an easy step instruction videos. Implement in less than a couple of hours of the right strategies. You can start with a small amount of money, less than $200 to start off with. You can spend next to no time maintaining it. So once you set it up, it could take you, depending how tech savvy you are, it can take you anywhere between a couple of hours to a couple of weeks to set up. But once it's set up, the strategies can actually be less than 5 minutes a day. You don't need to have time in the market or time the market. You don't need to watch charts. You don't need to do daily trading. There are other strategies out there. Without having to spend hours and hours following influencers and researching projects, okay? And all the benefits can actually be life-changing. Over time, and the word over time is very important, because most people that get into crypto and get wrecked fast are people who go and chase in the quick, get rich quick. Okay, crypto is not a get rich quick. Yes, there are opportunities sometimes, and we've had those where you get 10x, 100x, 1000x, but that don't happen every single day. You've got to think about this long term and have a 3 to 5 year vision. So over time, you can build your digital asset base. You can leverage to generate hundreds of dollars of passive income per day. You can use it as collateral to buy a car, a house, anything with it. Some of you guys here are from BBX and Black Tie, who's one of our partners. And with them, you can now buy property through using your crypto, okay, without having to use a bank or corporation. You can easily pay off, as I said, you can pay off your expenses, dinners, holidays, etc., through the crypto debit cards. You can become financially independent without having to rely on external source of income like a job. If you're a business owner and you can create a separate, passive income that can fuel your life, imagine how much stress that would remove off you from having to hustle in the business and actually focus on growing the business without having to chase sales, because you don't need to change sales. You can just grow your business the way you want it so that you can deliver a better product to the market. You can continue to reinvest to grow your wealth for your family and future generations. Okay, now we're going to get to now I've given you guys a little bit about why now is the time for change and what can happen. Let's look at the reality of what is happening in the world right now. So crypto and blockchain is the next evolution of the internet and finance, and it is here. So the world is currently seeing the biggest transfer of wealth since the internet. I think it's bigger than the internet. The next evolution of the internet and finance is being built right now. This is what Web 3.0 is. I know some of you already start to hear that term. It's been floating around the crypto world for a while. Web 3.0, crypto on blockchain is in the heart of it all. We believe that this is the greatest investment opportunity of our time, bigger than the internet ever was. And lastly, you've got to, lastly is a question. Imagine being able to invest into the protocols of the World Wide Web, which gave rise to Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Netflix. Now, I'm not talking about getting into Amazon, Facebook, and Netflix when they first started. I'm talking about the protocols that made them a possibility. So we even talk about before that. We're talking about the early 90s. This is the opportunity right now. Blockchain technologies and crypto are going to give a rise to so many things that we can't even imagine yet. This is the opportunity that we have right now. And to answer your question, Jason, yes, there is one coming.
Thank you.
So this is the reality of what has happened since 2020. The governments around the world have gone crazy with money printing. In fact, 40% of money of US dollar in circulation right now was all printed in 2020. If you go to the American Federal Reserve's website, they no longer print these charts anymore because it looks ridiculous. It just looks like a straight line. It pretty much looks like a right angle because of how much money they're printing. This is why we are facing inflation. We are facing hyperinflation. All the challenges that are happening in the world is because this is what started from back in 2008 when they started with quantitative easing. Here's the reality of inflation right now. Used cars, 41%. How many of you guys seen? My kids tell me, hey, Dad, there was a car that I wanted to buy a couple of years ago, but now it's gone double or triple the price. I don't understand why. This is the reason why.
My daughter, so just jump, you're spot on there. My daughter is actually selling her car that is only 4 years old for $2,000 less than it was when we bought it new.
Yeah.
The world's screwed, mate. It's screwed.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse right now, especially with what's happening in the world. Okay. So let's have a look at Bitcoin and the history of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is the first ever asset class to ever hit $1 trillion market cap in less than 12 years. Microsoft did it in 44, Apple did it in 42, Amazon did it in 24, Google did it in 21. But Bitcoin was able to do it in less than 12 years. And we believe that Ethereum is even going to beat Bitcoin and get to $1 trillion market cap faster than that. So the opportunity is still very early on. Now, when we look at Bitcoin compared to other things in the market, we want to look at Bitcoin. Here we're comparing it to Visa, Tesla, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, but we really want to compare Bitcoin to money because the Bitcoin is a monetary system. So Bitcoin is a $1 trillion market cap right now. If we compare that just to the gold market cap, then that is a 12x where it is now. So if you think a $38,000 Bitcoin is expensive, wait till you hear of $1 million Bitcoin or $500,000 Bitcoin. Because if you times 38 by 12 now, you're already looking at about $450,000. Okay, quick maths, probably wrong, probably a little bit off, but you know what I mean. We're looking at over $400,000 Bitcoin. If we were to compare, if Bitcoin is to become world reserve currency, like many of us, all us crypto crazy people, those of us that believe that Bitcoin will one day become world reserve currency, then we've got to now compare Bitcoin to physical money. And that's a 35x from where it is today. So the opportunity to grow is still huge. Okay, this is just to give you guys an idea of where we're at and where we've still got to go. But if you're skeptical, I don't blame you. The reason why most people are skeptical is because Bitcoin has been announced dead so many times over the years. Okay, Bitcoin died at $2.30, the rise and fall of Bitcoin. Forbes, the end of Bitcoin, then $15.15. Bitcoin is doomed, 327. Can you see the price of Bitcoin going up as these people keep calling it dead? Bitcoin is a joke, 266. Bitcoin is still doomed to fail, 439. Bitcoin is a Ponzi, 570. Bitcoin is dead, 713. In fact, Bitcoin has died 426 times and more according to the media. There's actually a website you can go to, 99bitcoins.com/Bitcoin obituaries, to see how many times the media has called Bitcoin dead, and look at the price today. This is not the first time they got it wrong, guys. This is not the first time that the media had it wrong. In fact, this is what they said back in the 1990s about the internet. Okay, internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. Okay, the internet is a fad. Most things that succeed do not require retraining of 250 million people. Wired magazine. I predict the internet will soon go spectacularly supernova and in 1996 catastrophically collapse. Now, the funny thing about that last one, Bob McCullough, he's the creator of Ethernet. Now, if you don't know what Ethernet is, they're the network cables that you use to connect your computer to a router or your computer to the network. He created the cabling that powers the internet, and he got it wrong. Now, imagine where we'd be today if we had no internet. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Imagine what the pandemic would have been like if we had no internet. So they had it wrong in the past, and they've got it wrong again. Do not listen to mainstream media when they tell you that cryptocurrency is no good or it's dead. They had it wrong, and we're showing you guys what's happening right now. And if we look at the facts, Bitcoin is actually growing faster than the internet ever did. The internet grew from 130 million users to 1 billion users in 7.5 years. At the rate that Bitcoin is going right now, it will make it to 1 billion users in 4 years. So by 2025, we're expecting, at the current rate that we're in at the moment, the current adoption rate, okay, we're expecting 1 billion users in the next 3 years. Bitcoin is now past the tipping point. Now, if you heard of Mark Gladwell in his book, The Tipping Point, okay, he speaks about the 15% adoption. which means when you have a revolutionary technology like the airport, like airplanes, personal computers, mobile phones, internet, all of these things that were revolutionary technology, when they went past the 15% adoption rate, then they became unstoppable. This is where Bitcoin was 12 months ago. It was still under 10% with only the early adopters. Today, we're looking at over 15%. In fact, this information, 15%, came out back in June last year. So we're well over the 15% right now. It's getting to a point where it's going to become unstoppable. Even the billionaires who were skeptical about crypto and Bitcoin are now moving into it. If you can see here, former hedge fund billionaire Bitcoin picks Bitcoin over gold. Billionaire Tim Draper admits to moving stock portfolio to Bitcoin. He was against crypto. He's moving his portfolios there. Stanley Druckenmiller also owns Bitcoin as attractive store value that could be gold. Paul Tudor Jones was a very anti-crypto guy. Now he's saying my bet is it will be Bitcoin as the best inflation hedge. So if these guys are doing it, it's time that we start paying attention to it. And the reality is this: anything that has any middleman attached to it, any industry that has a middleman attached to it will be disrupted by blockchain technology. The reason for that is blockchain technology removes the need for a third-party intermediary to be the trust factor. So what that means is entertainment. Everybody's heard of NFTs. They're a big craze right now, but they are still very, very early days. Okay, NFTs, music, gaming. Gaming is going crazy. There's some countries around the world during the pandemic, especially in the Philippines, there were complete cities that when they were shut down, they turned to crypto gaming to create an income for them and be able to feed their family. Now imagine what these people would have to do if they had to be locked down with no support. Okay, so gaming is a huge part of crypto, and a lot of people turn into crypto and gaming because now they can use real money, they can make money in the game, and they take it out and make a living wage off of some people, collectibles, art, and so forth. Digital currencies, so e-commerce, global payments, remittance. Think about PayPal. PayPal is right now already offering payments through crypto in America. It's not available here in Australia yet. It's available in America. eBay is talking about creating their own digital wallet so you can buy on eBay using cryptocurrencies. I was actually at a networking event last night, and one of the people speaking there, he owns a roses company, and they do like roses, fruit for corporates. You can send fruit, like fruit gift baskets and things like that around the world. And they are now starting to accept cryptocurrencies. Okay, so it's starting to happen. More and more businesses starting to accept crypto. Record keeping. Think about countries that, like voting. Imagine having a voting system on the blockchain where once you put your vote in, it can never be changed. Now, most of us here in the West thinking, well, voting is pretty safe here. It's regulated. It doesn't happen, not a lot of voting fraud. But think about developing countries. Think about the good that this is going to do around the world. Think about Nigeria. One of the cryptocurrencies like Cardano is really focused on Africa and how they can make a positive impact in Africa. And they're working with governments like Nigerian governments and other governments in Africa, where they're going to implement, blockchain voting, digital identities, record keeping and title keeping. These are people that have been taken advantage of by warmongers, and their voting systems were corrupt. Now, this is going to help them become a developed country and really, really speed up their development and speed up the quality of life that these people have. So crypto isn't just about money. It's about improving people's lives, it's about improving the world. Lastly is equities, private funds, debt, crowdfunding, derivatives. All of these things are all going to be disrupted by blockchain technology and by cryptocurrencies. Sooner or later, even education, there's no industry that I can think of. Even think about supply chain. Imagine if someone has an allergy and they need to make sure that their food has not touched a particular, like you say, they've got peanut allergy and they've got a severe peanut allergy. Right now, we've got labels and stuff, but imagine being able to scan the barcode on your food that you bought, and that tells you exactly where this particular food was from the moment it was picked to the moment it got to your hands. And this can now save people's lives. This is the opportunity in crypto. It's not just about making money. A lot of people think it's about making money, but it's about making the world a better place. That's it for me, guys. So now, if you guys want to discover how you can make money from crypto, even though I said crypto is not just about making money, but it's a great way for us to also fund our future and build something for our future and our families. If you want to discover how you can potentially turn $100 into over $1,000 per day in the next 24 months by joining our 1K Day Club, please just go to this link, and I'll put that in the chat, breakoutnow.co/1K a day. We do these every fortnight. Next week's one is Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. or Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. I'll push it back so I can come to the Be Connected networking group. So I don't miss it. Yeah, so it's 10:30 or Thursday at 6 p.m. So book a time, guys. Come and have a listen. If it's right for you, it's right for you. But at least pay attention to this and make an informed decision. That's it from me. If there's any questions, please fill them now.
I want to make a comment. Can you stop sharing the screen for a sec?
Yep.
Fantastic. So what just appealed to me there more than because, like I said, I'm shit scared of crypto. And you're right. Everybody out there thinks that you've got to invest lots of money because I think they only ever get information when ICO comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. ICO comes out. Give us $1,000, you'll get this. But give us $5,000, you get this. Give us 10,000, we'll give you the world. Yeah. And I think what you're doing with the 1K a day club, I mean, how much does that cost a week?
It's at the moment, we've got a launch offer. It's 47. Well, you get the first 3 months free. So you get 3 months free, but then after the first 3 months, it's $47 a month.
A month, $50 a month, and your crypto is going to grow up.
Yeah, and if you come to the presentation, you also get airdrops. You get opportunities to invite your friends and your family and get ongoing rewards. You get 3 education courses. You get a community. All of that $47 a month. All
right. So Ben, we've had these discussions, mate. You need to be talking to Wassim. Yeah, because Ben has been seriously looking at black tie and what it was previously called, but was waiting for can you put a little bit in at a time? And look, I've got mates that I know that are playing the market and putting $50 a week on Bitcoin. Well, if they don't know what they're doing properly, I'm sure they could do better through you.
Yeah.
So that $47 a month, do you still have to put more money in on top of that as well?
Look, we don't tell anyone to put anything in. We educate you. We show you what the opportunities are. With the 1K Day Club, sorry, that should have gone to everyone. With the 1K Day Club, we have strategies from $100 starting to $1,000 portfolio.
Okay.
It's really, the 1K Day Club is designed for people who just want to get started. They want to learn. They can put as little as much as they want. Okay. If they want to put more, like anyone's got more than $10,000 or $15,000, then we say, before you put that in, let's have a chat. We've got another club, which is the Millionaire Club, designed for those high opportunities. But the 1K Day Club is literally designed to tip your toe in the water, get a little bit of knowledge, start understanding what you need to do, have a small portfolio, and grow that over the next 2 years.
Okay. And can I ask, Ben's got his hand up. I'll let him have a go in a sec. So do you have a preferred crypto that you push people to?
Well, yes and no. So we have a research team. So we have a research team of 10 people that's headed by Michael, my business partner. So what we do is we vet crypto. We don't have a preferred. I mean, obviously, so we've got a portfolio called the Holder portfolio, and that one has 20 cryptos that we believe are going to do well over the long term. And these are the ones you can put $50 to $100 in every single week ongoing. So they're the ones that we've researched. Members will get a copy. Members will get a full copy of the research paper that we've done. They get all the information of where they can find the website, who the development team behind it is, the social media. Then they can make their own decision. So that's what we do. I mean, we say we're bullish on this. We also tell our members which ones to stay away from because, they might have a bad development team or, there's security issues or whatever.
Right. So it's an educational package that you're selling. Fantastic. Ben.
Yeah. Look, I've been thinking about investing more in crypto, diversifying, all that sort of stuff. But I was just thinking purely from a business perspective. For instance, let's say that you are affiliated with BBX or you're affiliated with Bartercard, you can go on and you can have a look at other businesses who accept trade all over the place. So I'm just wondering, what are the options at this point in time for listing your business on different crypto platforms? Like, you probably know where I'm coming from with this, is that you can have your business listed, whether you want it just to be listed to other people who use that same currency in Australia or on a worldwide basis. So if they need a certain service or product you provide, they can look it up. They can go, okay, this guy takes crypto, this guy takes my particular currency, and they can do business with you like that. What are the options at this point in time?
Look, at this point in time, the options aren't great. You've got to understand, we're still in the early stage. We're still going. However, having said that, I do believe that Black Tie is working on something like that for later on in the year, where they are going to have a listing of businesses that accept crypto, and we can do that. Now, that's obviously going to be limited to businesses within Black Tie.
Yeah.
But look, in time, it's going to become more and more prevalent. I mean, like things like once eBay starts taking crypto payment, once PayPal starts making crypto payment here in Australia, this is then going to open up massive, massive gateways for us to be able to do it. We as a business are always looking for, we've got a B2B arm also where we help businesses implement crypto into their business, such as payment, such as investing their excess fund. So we do that also on top of that. But I can't give you a straight answer. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not. It's a matter of asking the question. You'll be surprised how many people will say yes if you ask. They just don't advertise it.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Any other questions? No. Fantastic. Look, thanks for saying. That was absolutely brilliant. I will now stop the recording. Before we go, so obviously we have the chat. We know you're here. Can you please, for the recording, tell us how people can get hold of you for the people that are watching on video?
Yeah, so look, anybody's watching on video, just like breakoutsolutions.com, exactly how you say it, you spell it. You can look me up on social media, Wassim Dabboussi. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. They're the three main ones that I use. I'm also on Be Connected World, so I've got a profile there. Look out for Breakout Solutions. And just, the link, which I think you'll put the link under the video. Once you post.
I'll organise all that.
Yeah. And there will be a link under this to book in the next available webinar for you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.